one of the royals said to me the other day, Harry, if Harry knows what's good for him, he better get out while the getting out is good and possible. If he doesn't get out, this is going to end very badly for both of them. Meghan's tricks, the lizard tongue.
Lady Colin Campbell, there's a reason why you call Meghan Markle's flop brand Was Never. But as Harry and Meghan's marriage crumbles, so too does her commercial ventures. And obviously a lot of this has been overshadowed of late because of the other crises in the royal family. But I do think sometimes it is worth just zooming in on how bad things have got, because of course the financial pressures on the Sussexes is what is going to lead to further trouble for the British royal family. But look at this. This week, the Royal News Network posted alongside these just dire pictures, Meghan's attempts at marketing continue to swing from wildly amateur to just plain bad. This attempt to sell the Heritage Library set is offensive to any reader, and it's obvious that books aren't really Meghan's specialty. Can you fathom how annoying it would be to get honey or tea spilled all over your book? Also, the candles make me nervous being so close to the wall and underneath a shelf. This follows the utterly bizarre and nonsensical presentation of 5 spoons of spread. Honestly, look at this. Look at this. I could not believe that this actually went out as a piece of advertising, even though the set she's advertising is a trio, meaning there are just 3 spreads. The set also has 2 spreads that are red, so which one is the raspberry and which one is the strawberry? No idea, and in no way is that appealing to consumers. No, it's really not. As ever, continues to remain a crime against marketing, business, and common sense. The desperation is also setting in as the wildly overstocked inventory continues to drive constant emails and attempts to bundle things as a way to get people to buy merchandise. But the longer Meghan sits on everything without offering steep discounts, the more money she'll lose in the long run. She needs to hire some competent people and listen to them. Otherwise, Meghan's dreams of billionaire status will die with piles of expired food spread and an endless supply of flour sprinkles. Lady Colin Campbell, how bad have things got in Montecito for this business?
Well, they've been pretty dire for a long time, Dan, as you know only too well. And I mean, her presentations are beyond pathetic. I mean, which bibliophile would ever put a cup of tea on an open book beside a candle that is lit and is 2 inches from the bottom of a shelf, and then there are lemons everywhere, always lemons. I mean, she's a lemon. She's a lemon. The only thing is she doesn't know how to make lemonade. And you know, I think Meghan's delusionalism has got them into quite a lot of trouble financially, because my understanding is that Harry is the one who stumped up for all of that stock, because Netflix refused to not only stump up for it, but Netflix refused to actually stock it. And it's a disaster. And no matter how much she dresses it up, the fact of the matter is, a pig in lipstick is still a pig, whether his name is Meghan Markle or Was Never.
Indeed. But Lady C, this is just a nightmare scenario, though, for the British royal family, because, of course, the financial desperation that is coming means that there are going to be more desperate stunts.
But you see, my understanding is that Meghan has completely blanked the fact that Harry is justified in being seriously worried that if his father doesn't last very long, nor is the Dukedom of Sussex and the Earldom of Dumbarton going to last very long. And Meghan might find herself being Mrs. Henry Mountbatten Windsor. And how are they going to be able to market at that point? But he is evidently very worried that he is in the last chance saloon, and he, I suspect, would like her to reel herself in, but she won't, and he can't reel her in. And I think that's the dynamic that's going on. And, the marriage, as we both know, has been rocky for a long time. And when hunger comes in through the door, love flies out through the window, especially if, he's no longer treated to all of the Stan Getz blowing in the wind songs that he used to get initially. And all of the rewards that he used to get, as they were roasting chicken and tossing salad, if you get my drift.
Oh my God. Those words. Yes, Lady C. Yes, moving swiftly on. Moving swiftly on. I think we saw that. Yes.
Sorry, before you move swiftly on,
yes.
can I just do one of Meghan's tricks? The lizard tongue that matches the lizard lap. Unfortunately, because of my injury, I can't do the lizard lap.
Thank God.
I would show you otherwise.
Thank God.
She used to do it with Patrick Adams on what's that show called again that they used to do?
Suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan is joined by Lady Colin Campbell to examine the latest developments surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, as questions continue to swirl about the pressures facing both their business ventures and their public image. With major projects under intense scrutiny and growing commentary about the direction of their brand, some observers are wondering whether the strain is beginning to show for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Lady Colin Campbell shares her perspective on what may be happening behind the scenes, the challenges the couple could be facing, and how their future plans might be affected by the latest wave of criticism and speculation. So are Harry and Meghan navigating a difficult period? Or is the narrative being driven by media attention and public debate? Like the video for more royal analysis, subscribe for the latest royal family news and commentary, comment below. Do you think Harry and Meghan are under more pressure than ever?
Wow. Lady C. Okay, now we will move swiftly on to Israel, where this Middle Eastern tour was so extraordinary, Lady C, and we haven't spoken since then. So of course it didn't make any sense, and these two just looked like, well, Harry just looked like he really despised her. But politically, Lady C, the fact that you have Israel's deputy foreign minister coming out publicly and calling Harry effectively a liar with his pants on fire over his claims in that Channel 4 News interview. Indeed, she said, frankly, repeating demonstrably false narratives raises serious questions, and one might say that if your trousers were on fire, you might not even notice. I mean, in other times, Lady C, if there was not a war in Iran, if there was not an arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, that alone would be posing a serious threat to the British royal family. But it doesn't mean that Charles can just ignore this, does it?
Well, I think, Dan, let's remember the king is very seriously ill. And anybody who's been very seriously ill knows that you cannot be dousing fires in all directions. You have to choose which are the most dangerous fires to douse, if only because it's a matter of energy. That's because he's so ill. even if he hadn't been ill, there would still be prioritization. I think because of the war in Iran and because of our government's reaction to the war in Iran, and because of our status within a special relationship that seems to be foundering, there are all sorts of geopolitical considerations that impress upon this situation in a way that they wouldn't have. But the fact of the matter is, Harry and Meghan have no right as members of the royal family, working or otherwise is beside the point, to be involving themselves in political matters, and certainly not in contentious political matters. Now, Harry and Meghan have clearly decided that the Gaza situation is going to gain them brownie points in certain quarters, and they have gone with that as a result. I mean, but they have got themselves caught up yet again in a melee that is very much bigger and far more complex than they seem to realize. Because on the one hand, you have the state of Israel denying that aid doesn't get through, and they quote, I think, that 150 to 300 trucks per diem get through. Then you have the Gazans saying that, yes, some aid gets through, but that's A, not enough, and B, it only gets through to where the state of Israel wants it to get through. And the rest of the people are seriously challenged. They don't have enough food, they don't have enough medical supplies, etc. So they have inserted themselves into a situation that is truly very complex and very volatile. And I mean, you know, any historian can tell you that during the Second World War, the Nazis used to allow Red Cross inspections in the concentration camps. And they would have very grand, very celebrated, very important and prestigious neutral observers, sometimes royals as well, who would partake of these inspections for the Nazis to convince the world that everything that was taking place in the concentration camps was perfectly regular.